Hey guys, and welcome back to All the Mods 9 Progression Log 9. Actually, we're just at the over 2 month. Yes, the last progression log was 2 months. Let's go ahead and get started over here. I finally got around to removing these drawers, these block drawers, and there were some other miscellaneous crap in here. It's all gone now. They're all in drives, or in some cases, they were blocks that could actually be compressed, so they've been moved to compacting drawers. So we do have a few more drives over here, like building blocks, dimensional shards, etc., etc. Nothing particularly interesting, but it was done. That was something I put off for quite a significant amount of time, and I'm glad I stopped putting it off. um, the mechanism area has actually seen some significant work, or I don't know if it's significant work, but there has been some work. Over here, I finally got around to rebuilding these electrolyzers. They sucked. You should never use XNet. Even when XNet works, you should never use XNet for fluids. XNet absolutely sucks at moving around fluids in any reasonable amount of time. It can move items super fast, but fluids it just sucks at. Um, so I rebuilt them in a smarter way. It doesn't look as compact, which was cool, but you know, it just didn't produce enough stuff. Also, these thermal evap plants are taller. I don't know what they were before, but they're now 18 blocks, and each one of these brine plants produces 1.08 buckets per tick, which is nice. And we're electrolyzing that as literally as fast as it comes in, which means I might want to add some more. I might replace one of these things, like this one here, with a brine one. This was gonna be a lithium, but we have so much liquid lithium, so it's not gonna be a problem. So this will probably get swapped to becoming brine as well. We are using resistive heaters down here as well. Each one's on 1.25 KRF per tick. So these things they'll be more consistent as well, because before they were only producing during the day. That was fine early on, but this really needed an upgrade, and it probably needed an upgrade several weeks ago. But we had such a massive stockpile of like chemicals that were used for processing that it was fine, even though we were burning through it. But we finally finished. We almost burned through the whole thing. But when I finished, we had like just a couple hundred buckets left of hydrogen chloride, for example. One thing over here is I have swapped around. I've moved, like, osmium crystals are now, like, osmium and zinc crystals are now processed in multiple different injecting factories now in order to help with the speed. However, I haven't done that over here to turn the shards into clumps, so that's something else I'm going to have to do as well in order to process this faster, because if we look at, say, osmium, we have a full drive of the dirty osmium, all like 361,000 buckets of the clean slurry, and then 170,000 raw osmium ore to process. So we've got like 4 million ingots here or something, and it's just not being processed because it's so slow. You know, calling mechanism machines slow is interesting, but they are in this case. So I might strip XNet out of these ones too, and then just go to export buses. I kind of wanted to get away from export buses, like as you guys, as I talked about in the antimatter chemistry series, I wanted to be a little bit more efficient with TPS, especially since TPS is, we're still at we're still at full 20, but we're getting pretty close to before we can, uh, before we're gonna start seeing slowdowns. It's kind of okay. I've tried to work with support, or I have been working with support, I should say, of the ACLAs. They're the hosts of this. And man, they've been really fantastic in trying to help me out with this stuff, but it basically boils down to Java was never meant for this, and all the mod packs just run like crap. And that's just something we have to live with. So we're probably going to see, so I would be shocked if we don't see slowdowns by the end of this, whenever that end is. The problem is the miners themselves, as they're going, do eat some significant TPS. I've reduced the number. Instead of running 12, we're now running technically 7 because one wasn't finished. I do want to, this is a little bit of a side tangent. I did some decorative work over here last night because I didn't like how floating it was, so I built a little bit of like a bridge style thing. I like this a lot. I do want to put some lights down there so it looks a little bit cooler. Like there's the lights down here are from Mage Lights from when one of the other people was playing. He was playing with Ars Nouveau a lot, so he was spamming these things around. Like I really like the way this base looks at night, by the way. I have night vision goggles, so I can turn on full bright whenever I need it, and whenever I'm going around outside the base, I usually do it. But I love the way this base looks at night. It's so nice. It like looks like a city almost, you know? I don't know. It looks cool. Anyway, we're gonna go over here, and so you'll notice some significant changes over here from last time. I removed the extreme reactor and the turbines for it. We are going to be doing the mechanism rebuild today. I'm gonna have to strip out these power reactors. Because this mechanism reactor was a half-assed terrible mess. It's bad. I feel bad, and you should laugh at me because this sucked, and I don't know why I decided to do it this way. Um, I am not processing any of the nuclear waste at the moment, even though I need to for the antimatter and stuff. Uh, so we'll have to go ahead and do that at some point. Like, there's lots of stuff I'm going to have to do. The reactor will probably stay here. It'll just be much, much bigger. Right now, even with sodium cooling, because mechanism ports don't auto-export, or if they do, that's new, and I don't know about it, and I couldn't get them to do that. Um, so you have to pump out of them. So originally the idea was if the auto exported, it would have been P2P from valve to valve because P2Ps have an unlimited transfer rate. But they're also only one in, many out. So I can't have like, and these pipes as well can only, so they can, if for basically how it works is they can support up to 4 max pumping speeds. Because it's like a 256 buckets a tick because their pumping speed, and they can transfer up to like 1,050, 1,048 or whatever it is. The powers of 2. So 5 here doesn't work. So at 20, this thing can only burn up to 25 millibuckets per tick before it literally can't pump the coolant out fast enough, and it starts to overheat. So I want to make sure this is bigger, so this has to get rebuilt, that has to get rebuilt, because when I was building this originally, I was like, oh yes, P2Ps, infinite transfer rate, and forgot that I was dealing with things that can't export. So there's going to have to be some significant rebuilds here. So the reactor's going to stay here, it's going to be much bigger. The boiler is going to get moved to here, so we can, in the middle, so it's easier to just access the turbines. So if I want to use mechanism cables or, pumps or whatever, pipes between them, I'll probably just not do that. But I do want the boiler in the middle. The processing will probably go where the boiler is now, like the waste processing. The battery isn't moving, and that reactor chunk might stay there if I don't need it to go. I don't know. I might remove it just cause, but we'll have to see. We are power negative now. Well, we were last night. I think some stuff has shut down. One of the miners probably finished. I have 6 of the Elite 2 miners. Those are the best ones. Um, I know I mentioned the miners before, but I pulled all of the large advanced miners off. They're only 3x3 chunks, and if they do eat up TPS, there's no point in having them out there. And the reason why I pulled these ones off too is because I crafted 6 large Elite Miner 2s, and these things are 7x7 chunks, so that's a lot. And I have 6 of them running right now, and I think I have 1 Elite Large Miner running because I do want to mention this. Every now and then, my ender chest, because I've been using ender chests to bring the ore back from the mining dimension. And every now and then when I go back, sometimes the ender chests are gone. Like they're getting like deleted by something. I don't know what's deleting them. And because when I went and moved them all over yesterday, there were like 5 ender chests missing from like between like the digital miners I had out mining uraninite, and I had like 4 of the digital miners were missing ender chests. And there's no way I would have forgotten that many. So something has been deleting them, I think. I don't know what or why. So on my list is one of the things is to figure out an ender chest alternative, maybe. I don't know. Uh, anyway, so I do have I have 7 miners out there. I have 6 of the Elite 2s and 1 Elite 1 that didn't finish because of the Elite miner, and it probably because of the ender chest getting voided, and it might be done now. No big changes over here, I don't think. Nothing I remember anyway. Oh, actually, I lied to you. Right here, we were making our fissile fuel. We're not making any more right now because I have it level limited because I don't want to, burn up all our hydrofluoric acid, fluorine, is something that's a limited amount of, and we are probably kind of, actually we're okay now. I'm not electrolyzing fluorite dust at the moment because you need this to make the polonium pellets, and I need to level emit fluorite dust, so I need to keep some in the, so I have to set up some level emitted electrolyzer multi-blocks. So that's something else that I'll have to do. Um, we're going to go ahead and actually run through the whole list. I've decided not to upgrade polyethylene. It's been on my list for forever, and it's never been a problem for a while, since I had one problem with it. I never got around to upgrading it, and it's never been a problem since. So that's fine. As you guys saw, we rebuilt the mech electrolyzers. We are processing the metal mixture. Actually, no, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the new ore processing section. As you noticed, all the chemical reactors here have been removed. This was platline chemical reactors minus processing raw palladium powder. I didn't have enough room for that. There's 7 in total if you also include the indium. And I didn't want to put an LCR on top of this. But so I removed them and I put them in a new district over here. Here we have because we have assembly line and all kinds of good stuff, we can actually make the advanced large chemical reactor, and this is the parallelized version of the LCR, which is nice. So this is Pletline. There's absolutely no deco work in this area. It's just been slap down machines and go do something else. So these things produce Pletline and also indium. So we're processing raw palladium powder, and that means we actually have ammonia as well. We have a lot of ammonia. There you go. You saw some dust come in. That's from processing raw palladium powder. So we have a ton of palladium. We're very good on palladium. We're fine. Over here are some special centrifuges that are either level emitted, like this one here. This one's level emitted to burn off, well, I guess process excess purified galena, because indium concentrate is made with purified galena and purified sphalerite. And you get more galena than sphalerite. As in, at one point I had 147,000 purified galena stockpiled because sphalerite just wasn't coming in nearly as much, and I wanted to process all that extra stuff. So, and actually, I'll go over there in a minute. Actually, so over here, so we're processing galena over here. We keep 25,000 just to make sure that we have enough for indium. Over here, we process stone dust. This is level emitted because there's a non-zero chance. It's not a very large number, but it is non-zero that we might burn through stone dust. That's mostly if we don't use the miners, if I don't put them out for a while. I had them actually last week. I didn't have them out very much. I just didn't really feel like it, so I didn't get around to it. And we were fine on tungsten anyway. I have been making a bunch. We're actually pretty good on tungsten right now. It feels good, It feels good. It's nice. I decided to put the miners on anyway because we can make the Elite 2s, and those do require a lot of tungsten. But we're still good. This one processes metal mixture dust, which we get from processing stone dust. And the reason why this one is not getting round robined, or whenever I rebuild the ore processing centrifuges, the reason why this isn't getting round robined and it's getting its own dedicated centrifuge is because this will not do more than 9 recipes at a time, even if this is set. Here, I'll set it to 16 and it won't start. See, look, it has more than enough to metal mixture because only one recipe just takes 1, so it theoretically should pick up 16 at a time, and it won't start it. And if I go down to 15, it won't. 12, it won't. It has to go 11, 10, and as soon as it hits 9, then it'll start. And I have no idea why. I don't know why it does this. It just does. So, oh well, I guess. So that's why it gets its own centrifuge. Over here, I do want to mention, I mentioned we processed excess purified galena. These macerators and the thermal centrifuges processed all the galena, 111,000 worth of it, by the way, in 10 minutes. So ore processing isn't going to need any upgrades for a while. If it does, the problem is if it does need upgrades, especially if we move to the next tier of hatch, like 64, or beyond that to like 256, it's going to need another complete rebuild, and I'm not really interested in doing that. And this process like 11,000, 110,000 items in 10 minutes, 11,000 items a minute. That's a lot. So it probably doesn't really need any upgrades. Like I only have 6 miners out at a time, the six of the quarries. Um, so I don't you don't get that much. It doesn't come in at more than 11,000 items a minute. Like we have no backlog. Like I'll show you. I processed all of our backlog as well. All the stuff is either like ores that just flat out aren't processed anywhere, or like purified galena, which is being stockpiled for indium. As you can see, there's like lots of stuff. Just like here, if I hold shift, you can see it'll stop the moving around, and you can see all the different ores that are coming in, and we're processing all of it as it comes in, as fast as we can, which is very, very nice. I've spent way too much time on ore processing. I love ore processing. It's my favorite thing to do all the time, which is one of the reasons why I like Mechanism a lot. Is it's the most quote unquote complex ore processing system you get that's not GregTech. And GregTech, that was one of the reasons why I was excited to play GregTech, is because of the complex ore processing, because that's really fun to me. Um, but I've put like 100 hours into ore processing. So, actually, speaking of hours, I'm gonna go ahead and every now and then I forget to do this. All right, I forget to do this all the time. This is how much time have we played? 16.52 days. We are now ahead of what it took antimatter chemistry. Antimatter chemistry. Hold on, I have a calculator really quick. I'll give you that in hours. That is 396.48 hours. Or in minutes, if you'd like, 23,788 minutes. That's a lot of time. That's more time than some people put into whole video games. And we're not even anywhere close to done. We've got so much more time to play. Like, let's go ahead and do a quick little goal recap. Since it's been, this is the 9th week we're here. I think it's a good time to revisit and explain my goal for those also because there's more people here who may not have seen the first one. My goal here is to get the Greg Star, and the Greg Star is like the most difficult thing I'll have ever done so far in modern Minecraft. You need all this kinds of stuff. First off, you need the Star Forge. You need all this stuff, and this, which means you also need the Patrick Star. All this stuff. You need helium plasma. That's not a problem. This is, it's Star Forge. So this isn't so bad. But like, you need the Star Forge, and this requires UV crap. Liquid europium, which is something we're gonna have to do soon. Advanced computers aren't bad. That's cheap. That's not a problem. This isn't a problem either. The black hole controller requires. This is just industrial foregoing isn't difficult. It's just tedious. I really do hate industrial foregoing. Progression. Like, industrial foregoing offers a lot of cool things, and I love are they called deep storage units, or are they called black hole units now? Because at one point, black hole, yeah, they're called black hole units now. They used to be called deep storage units. Probably back in Sky Factory 3 or something, and I've always called them that since then. But I just don't enjoy industrial foregoing's progression system. It's just not fun. So that's something else I'll have to do. Antimatter pellets, well, we're going to be building the mechanism reactor. That's what I'm going to be doing today after this video, probably. A robust, we already did that. This is just a bunch of neutronium and a ton of power. Starter compression modules. This is where you have to get the ATM star. And you need multiple ATM stars, actually. You need, like, a block and change or something like that. Because I think the Star Forge requires... in all the block. Yep, see it in there. It requires just a block, an ATM star block. So you have to get 10 of these to make one Greg Star. And then this requires titanium and Aquata and ultimate, and this requires energy. So it's like we're very far away. And Greg Tech alone, and not counting like all the other crap that we have to make for the ATM star. So we've got a few hundred more hours ahead of us working on this. So that's kind of cool. It's gonna be a long grind. We're in for the long haul, but that's part of the fun, I think. I think I used to like not. I know I've probably mentioned this before in one of the videos, talking about how spending years of your life on something seems like, why would you do that? That didn't seem interesting to me at that point. But now, as I've been playing this, it actually is like seems kind of interesting. Like, yeah, it's like years of your life. That's crazy. First off, yeah, that is crazy. Second off, that's a little bit cool to me, to have something that you working on for years, like it takes you years. It took Karaxi 82 7,000 hours and 3 years of his life to complete Greg Tech New Horizons, and then he turned it around and did it again. He's doing it again. The absolute mad lad. Um, you know, so I don't know. I don't know if I'll play Greg Tech New Horizons. I might. I probably will at some point. But that's something else to think about in like 3 months at the bare minimum. You guys have seen all this. We do have LUV energy hatches. I don't know if I've mentioned that. We can. Nice. We have 12. I'll go ahead and craft another 4 more. We're gonna be using them all over the place soon, I'm sure. I'm not even gonna look at the any of that stuff, by the way. If you guys actually want to see some crazy stuff, look at this. You guys want to see some insane stuff? Look at the micro universe multi-block. Uh, this requires 3,000 casings of like 3,000 something like that. The quest tells you. It's a lot. Look how big this thing is. You need 16 2x ATM stars. Like, this is just like a monster. So I don't think we'll get this. This is just atomic casings, Nequata alloy, what is this? What is this? I don't know what this is. I don't want to know what it is. So that's something that's, insane. Um, so talking about Skystone and Certus Quartz, actually. So Skystone I have through 2000, and not because I set up like a farm for it, but Syrai, you guys have seen him before, he has a farm for it, and he let me have a bunch. Just 32,000, so I took 32,000. And for Certus Quartz, he let me have 130,000, and we've kind of burned through a lot of that now, because we make the big boy drives. The big pants drives, I should say. The 16384K storage cells, these, I think, because I'll go ahead and pull my calculator out again, and I'll tell you how much larger they are than 256. Because a partition 256 for one item stores 2 million items, and a 16348K divided by 64 is 255 and a half times larger. So that's like, what, 512 million items? So that's a lot. And we use that in some places, mainly in ore processing for like really big like amounts that we have of dust. Uh, all this stuff here is all on 16Ks. The 16348Ks, and then they're overflow emitted. Because I don't need more than 500 million items of something. If I do, something somewhere has gone horribly wrong, I imagine. Um, we do have another assembly line over here. This is for the LUV energy hatches. It can do up to 10 items. The LUV hatch is only 9, I believe. So this is a little bit longer than needs to be. I'm hoping nothing else is longer than 10. Otherwise, it'll be a little bit of a pain in the ass. This is our assembler, by the way. That's LUV. And by the way, in order to make the LUV energy hatch, you need like a single block LUV assembler. And how I did that was I put one right here, surrounded it with cables, and then just I feathered it with the rubber mallet. Just turned it on and turned it off. Because if you stop processing, it won't reset the progress. But if it runs out of power, it will. So if you pause it and then let it charge up again and then start it again, you can do it that way. And that's how I did it. Because I don't want to make single block assemblers anymore. This is what this thing is for. So that's how, and there we go. Done with the LUV energy hatches. So yeah, that's why this is here for. That's what this is for, right? Anyway, what else? Oh yeah, we're processing raw palladium powder, because before I wasn't doing that, because I didn't have enough LCRs over there. I don't know if I probably mentioned this, I forgot. You need in total 7 LCRs, including if you have Platline plus Indium. And there was only room for 6 over here, because I didn't really want to stack an LCR on top of this. Yeah. So I was just waiting to process palladium, and now we actually processed all the palladium, as you guys saw. We're good on palladium. So I finished that. I upgraded sodium persulfate. We're gonna go over here to the the petrochem area. I've also added a multi-block electrolyzer over here for some stuff. I didn't give it a master hatch because this thing doesn't even really get enough items to justify any parallel hatch. But I have a bunch of these extra elite ones because I replaced them all out of the ore processing, so fuck it, why not? Just give it one, right? Just in case. I've also been doing some deco work over here, trying to get the base look a little bit nicer. My FPS, if you guys have noticed, hasn't been great, and I'm hoping covering some of the cables with just blocks or facades will help. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that improves or makes performance worse, but at least it makes the base look nicer. So that's nice. We also have styrene butadiene rubber over here. I thought that was going to be like incredibly complex, right? I'm like, oh, that's such a complex name. It's got to be, horrible, right? No, it was 3 LCRs, right? Because we already had everything. We already have like effectively infinite amounts of sulfur. We had styrene. This wasn't too bad. This is butadiene, which we get from oil processing. Oxygen, which we have lots of. So styrene was the only thing we had to make, and that was made with ethylene and benzene, and we also get that from oil processing. So this was 3 LCRs. It took me like 8 minutes to set up or something. It was fine. And then I level emitted it because originally it wasn't, and I want to make sure it's level emitted. So how this works is it's a level limit on the output hatch, so working disabled means it won't push to the interface, and as you can see we still have a bunch of excess stuff, because we don't really use it that often. I have to probably go around and swap some recipes for it, but it's kind of like whatever. Anything new over here? Not really. This still is the way we produce lubricant. We've been producing lubricant this way for, I don't know, 2 months. And I haven't gotten around to moving it. We can produce it other ways, but I added another cracker over here so we can process heavy fuel. We're still working down the stockpile we had before, but we are working it down. And this, I was gonna set up a separate these large fractioning distilleries for different things, like severely all the different things that we process. But this thing consumes it faster than it gets produced, so it's fine. Which is why I have checked off process oil products, because I don't actually need to do that. And the refinery gas distillation tower. Oh, we also process cinnabar gems to dust. I should go ahead and show that. I do have to do some minor upgrades to it because I did it the bad way. Right here, how this works is we just downcraft the exquisite gems into the low ones, and then we just have the regular cinnabar gems just getting crushed to dust, because you only use cinnabar in like thermal expansion, and the only other use for cinnabar is in like thermal expansion, or sorry, thermal series now. Like if we go ahead and look at the cinnabar gem, like you grind it down to mercury sulfide, which we don't care because we don't mess with alchemistry. You can laser engrave it to the flawless ones, and you can crush it to the dust, and like that's it. I mean, you can do some theurgy stuff with it, but you can do that with any crystal. So you use it for like induction smelters, and we don't use induction smelters for literally anything. So we only use the dust for stuff. We just grind up all the dust, and if we do need it for stuff, well, we have the thermal expansion, thermal series, cinnabar, and we can just use that instead. So all the GregTech stuff just gets ground down to dust, and that stuff gets centrifuged for mercury. We do the same thing with amethyst, but we don't grind it up. Topaz, and both types of topaz, so we can get the fluorine out of it. Eventually, I want to replace these things with RF Tools crafters because they can do both in a single block, and they're much, much faster. But I don't know if I really want to do that because they're also more annoying to work with. These things are much nicer, much easier. As you can see, we have a bunch of fluorite crystals. I think I've mentioned that, but we're not grinding down the fluorite because you need it for the polonium pellets. Yeah, I've probably repeated myself. I'm deeply sorry. What else have we done? We already did that. Oh, we are autoclaving some nether quartz over here. Oh, I still don't have ZPM circuits on true passive yet. I haven't passived HSSG frames still because we don't really use that many of them, if I'm being honest. Like, how are we on HSSG frames? Like, we still have 125, and we're stocked up on a stack in there, a stack in here, and we're full on them in there, so we're fine. We are over here, right here. We autoclave nether quartz dust because you don't use it for anything. The only other thing you use it for is to make nether quartz plates, which can be used to craft observers. Like nether quartz. Like you use nether quartz dust, you turn it into the crystal, you turn it into small piles you don't use, You autoclave it, or you can turn it into nether quartz plates, which you use to make observers, but you can make observers the normal way. So it's kind of like whatever. So we just autoclave all of it. It's very slow, so it won't consume all of our nether quartz dust, but I don't care. It'll, you know, produce more nether quartz. Not that we're even using that stuff anyway. We have some LUV mixers over here, so we can make osmiridium because we do need that now for some stuff. We're just using the regular osmium cables because mechanism exists. So like if we come over here for osmium, we're big chill or we're chilling, big chillin'. We have like 4 million ingots worth to process. So yeah, that we're good. We're good on that. There's still a lot of stuff I have to do. I do want to build a command tower at one point, just somewhere where I can AFK that's not the clean room, but who knows. Um, I think that's probably about everything. I've been talking for quite some time, and I've been all over the place again this weekend. I'm deeply sorry. Hopefully it's been a little bit better. I think I already talked about the decorative work over here. I think I did. I think I did. If I didn't, then here we go. If I did, then sorry for repeating myself. This is I won't lie to you, this is the second time I've attempted this recording. The first time did not go well. Uh, so I may have been repeating myself. That's kind of why I forget. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good week. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll go ahead and I will see you next week.